Maybe we can wait a couple of minutes. Yeah. Okay, hi everybody. A very good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining this big proposal writing and application workshop. I have with me my dear colleagues, Dr. Nitya Raman and Deepa JK, who are going to take you through today's discussion. And so just before we start, just a few housekeeping instructions for you. Any questions that you may have as the webinar progresses, please put it in the Q&A box that you can see in the bottom panel of your screen. And also, if you have any questions, you can also raise your hand. And we will try to take the questions at the end of Nitya and Deepa's presentations. Deepa and Nitya, you can access the Q&A box as well. So any questions that are uploaded, you should be able to see them as well. And I think chat box, I think any questions that you may have would be better off in the Q&A box rather than in the chat box. But still, if you want to share any comments during the webinar, please feel free to share on the chat box. From those of who you are watching us on YouTube, we are going to take questions from the live stream also as the webinar, when we started with the Q&A session and during the webinar. And that's it. So we will be putting you on, we will be putting on Nitya and Deepa as of now. Yeah. Hi, Nitya.
Thanks, Debashini. So a wonderful afternoon to everyone here. I will just kick off this interactive session with a movie clip that we have from CCAMP that will just showcase a brief overview of how we cater to everyone's need as far as life sciences and commercialization and mentorship goes. So that will help trickle in people as well. So it will just be a brief clip for about 5 minutes, and then we can start with the presentation.
We are among those who believe we can change the world with ideas, with purpose, with people, and with science. We enable innovators and researchers to create change through innovation and impact. We are addressing ways to mitigate AMR mortality rates. We are helping protect India's farmers from toxic pesticides. We are designing devices to monitor neonatal sepsis. We are focused on eliminating ICU-acquired infections. And we are working on agri-production by boosting crop health. We are CCAM, the Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms, a unique hub enabling bioscience research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. At CCAMP, We believe in creating synergistic partnerships and building innovations for people the world over. CCAMP is committed to creating a single platform for researchers, innovators, entrepreneurs, government funding agencies, venture capitalists, institutional investors and stakeholders across all domains of the biotech industry. We equip our innovators with the tools, technology and know-how needed to get started. Startups with the CCAMP Edge benefit from state-of-the-art plug-and-play incubation facilities, early-stage grant and seed funding, and entrepreneurship development and mentorship programs. Life science researchers at CCAMP have access to a host of analytical services and training on our technology platforms, thereby ensuring unhindered research.
We see ourselves as enabler of high-end science and deep science innovations, mostly to make sure that science actually comes and delivers to the societal needs. And this can happen with taking science towards the next levels of development and innovations. CCAMP plays a pivotal role in taking science to that level for society as well as economic growth.
CCAMP is significantly leveraged as part of the Bangalore Life Sciences Cluster, a triad of scientific excellence in biological research and innovation.
As a part of the cluster, CCAMP is a very important element because it provides access to the enormous resources of the cluster for the benefit of many of the startups that CCAMP incubates, as well as many of the neighboring institutions and institutions across the country and the world that are able to access the resources and technologies that we have developed on the cluster.
Since its inception in 2009, CCAMP has forged connections across India to foster research and innovation. CCAMP has delivered 3,000 plus projects with over 425 plus institutions and has supported over 180 publications. In addition, 200 plus startups have been funded, incubated and mentored. We have over 2,000 plus connected startups in total, and close to 72 of these have received follow-on funding of 772 crore rupees. We also have over 21 products at market and filed more than 180 patents. Today, CCAMP startups employ more than 650 plus people. Over the past few years, CCAMP has emerged as a thriving bioinnovation hub. We are recognized and awarded for our commitment and excellence, both in India and internationally. CCAMP works towards connecting India with the world's innovators and leveraging global solutions to address India's specific needs. CCAMP played a major role in India's response to COVID-19 through three major programs. 1. CCAMP COVID-19 Innovations Deployment Accelerator, CCIDA, which identified and fast-tracked 30 deployment-ready innovations in diagnostics, preventatives, therapeutics and vaccines. 2. National Biomedical Resources Indigenization Consortium NBRIC, CCAMP-led National Public-Private Partnership to fuel indigenous biomedical technologies for COVID-19. 3. Indigenization of Diagnostics or INDX program, a Rockefeller Foundation-supported initiative that is ramping up indigenous manufacturing of COVID-19 diagnostic kits. We are seeking national and international partners to join us in being change makers for a better tomorrow.
Okay, that was a brief overview of what we have at CCAMP and the whole, gamut of operations that we have at CCAMP. So now I would be just dwelling into some of the nitty-gritties of what we have here at CCAMP, and also the effective way to write a grant as far as the Biotechnology Ignition Grant is concerned. As you all know, the Biotechnology Ignition Grant has and call open from the 1st of January, and the last date of submission is the 15th of February. So I would just share my screen now and start the presentation. So we at Cellular for Molecular and Center for Cellular and Molecular Platform CCAMP, we are based out of Bangalore, although we have operations all throughout India as well as internationally. We are an initiative that was directed by the Department of Biotechnology in order to enable cutting edge life science research and innovation in the country. And we also act as a bridge between the academic community and the life science industry as far as ready to go products are concerned out of each of the proposed solutions that we cater to. So as a part of the Bangalore and Life Science cluster, we follow the same geographical location as NCBS and INSTEM, two of the premier institutes of India. And also we are very closely associated right across with the University of Agricultural Sciences, which is GKVK. Again, one of the premier institutions as far as agriculture is concerned. So in this way, we are placed in such a way geographically that we end up having high-end, deep science-driven conversations all throughout our campus as far as people are concerned. So what we do is basically we act as an enabler of successful bioscience research and innovation in India. And we basically do this with a three-pronged approach. So firstly, we have our technological resources, which are high-end analytical platforms that we have. We also have a discovery to innovation application wing, which is the research translation program. Basically, this caters to an academic audience. And we have these newer technologies and innovations that are in the academic sector, and they need to be built up to be ready to be, industry ready. So, and then we have the entrepreneurial program division, of which I am a part of, and we offer entrepreneurial support to bio-innovators for creating impactful innovations. So basically the technological resources is, enabling high quality research in life sciences. So as part of this, we have many facilities here at CCAMP, and all these facilities can be availed by anybody who are not associated with CCAMP on paper. So basically, if you are writing through a BIG grant and you feel that you need a drug screening platform or on live models, basically, we have transgenic facilities in mouse and Drosophila that can be used. If you feel that any of your molecules need some sort of a structure composition, definitions, etc., you can actually avail the X-ray crystallography and cryo electron microscopy techniques that we have. In addition to this, we have the microfluidics and the microfabrication division, which exclusively gives out or rolls out these 3D prototypes of the devices that can actually scale up to be easily available in the market. So all this is done on a not-for-profit basis, and the charges are quite nominal considering that these are cutting-edge, high-end technology resources at hand. So irrespective of where you come from, you can avail these facilities, and this is one of the avenues at CCAMP that with which you can actually be a part of CCAMP for. So in addition to that, because of the high rise in the COVID related research, we also have these assay services at CCAMP presently, including antibody neutralization assay, custom assay development, as well as small molecule compound testing, etc. So we have all the variants of SARS-CoV actually with us live and running in our labs. And the source of this are Indian as well as from the NIH division. As I said earlier, we have the microfabrication technique that we have. So basically, it's a holistic design studio for medtech devices and the diagnostic sector. So basically, if you have something in mind where, even to the agri space, actually, if you need to determine a readout for some sort of pesticide detection in plants or feed, animal feed or plant fertilizers, etc., we can actually develop a prototype, a 3D prototype that is functional in this regard. So basically, we have everything present over here. It is one thing where you just need to send us an email telling that, I have this idea in mind, and our team will get back to you and you will have a ready-made prototype in our hand. So this particular medtech prototyping lab was actually opened, I think, about 3 to 4 months back, including a clean room. And we've already rolled out about 15 3D prototype devices in various sectors, including diagnostics devices, agri, environment, as well as for human use. As far as the transgenic fly model for research is concerned, we understand that because you come into the sector where you think that you have a molecule that can give rise to some sort of neuropathological changes or something like that, you will need a live model to actually do this research. So in addition to the mice facility that we have here at CCAM, you can also test these compounds or drugs for any disease indication, as the fly model being the first step. So the fly model may not give you, outright results saying, look, this is ready for human. But then, yes, it will give you some substantial evidence to say that, yes, you can go forward and then scale up as far as the animal models are concerned. In addition to this, we have many rollouts and calls for training modules here at CCAM. So basically, we have this on a rotation basis. So if this month we are doing something on metabolomics, we will be doing something on flow cytometry the next month. And also the fact that sometimes the audience is curated. Like, for example, in December, we had a next-gen sequencing workshop exclusively for clinical genomics. So we have that sort of curated approach as well as a generalized approach that actually happens at CCAMP here. So you can also become self-reliant by actually undertaking some of these courses here at CCAMP, and then understanding how you can put the best foot forward as far as entrepreneurship or even your academic schedule is concerned. So as part of these resources here at CCAMP, we have about 4,000 plus projects that are delivered, and about 425 publications and organizations that we are a part of. And we have actually had, data sharing been done all over India as far as research institutes are concerned, as far as the technology wing is concerned. And then coming to the research translation division, we actually create novel technologies. So these is usually catering to the academic population. So as far as the academic population is concerned, we understand that there are some results that you are generating in your lab that may not be a focal point as far as the PhD student or, for example, your own research department is concerned. So these results are something that might be piled in a corner, and you will look at them probably on retirement, which we don't want you to do. So basically, if you are having some results that can foster some sort of innovative approach with a focus on either healthcare, agriculture, or environment, DIA would be the point of contact for you here at CCAMP. So we will be leveraging exciting discoveries from Indian academia and utilize our manpower and our funding support, and then make it into an industry-ready innovation. So with one call of DIA last time, we had actually leveraged and opened for licensing about 7 technologies. And this was just by one call of DIA. So the call usually opens during 15th of February, and it is open for about a month's time. So probably till say 10th or 15th of January, this call is usually open. But then the team is always ready to take up your queries and your suggestions, or just a discussion with the team. That can be done all year round. And also, if you want to just put in your idea and say that, look, I think I have some data with which I can go ahead with, we can always have a discussion with you and see that you are placed in the right meter, so that you will be ready to innovate further and make your results into an innovative solutions that can be catered to a commercial use. And then we also have this wonderful feature at CCAM, which we call as the OTT platform, which is the Office of Technology Transfer here at CCAM. So basically, this is one thing which is done open for all again. It is not something that is open for people only having the BIG grant or any other funding schemes that we have here at CCAM. It is open to everyone. So basically, we do drafting and filing of patent applications. A prior art search is done. And this team at OTT is actually put together as far as the lawyers are concerned, as well as patent officials are concerned, and everybody together. So we have a wonderful sound team that actually here at Office of Technology Transfer here at CCAM. So basically, if you feel that something of your idea can be patented, you can always come to us and say that, look, I need to patent this. Do you think this will be the right patent to go? Sometimes what happens is you may not even realize that there are some aspects of your entire process or of your product itself or of the molecule of your interest to actually go ahead and make a patent of. So only when you start discussing with our team, probably you will gain insights as to how you can go ahead with this. That being said, if you are already in touch with a patent analyst or a patent lawyer, it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion. So we have had people who have come here at CCAM for a second opinion and then end up using our services instead of their first opinion services. So we would like you to actually avail this platform here, irrespective of where you're coming from, a startup company, individual, irrespective of who you are and where you're coming from. Just have a conversation with us so that you will know exactly where you will stand and what is actually required of you probably 6 months or 8 months down the line. So as part of the entrepreneurship programs are concerned, we offer a multitude of mentorship, advancement, and acceleration programs here. And also we conduct extensive outreach and networking events for innovators and startups. So anybody who has an interest in, just discussing your idea, we are open. And also if you need us to, have a virtual session, I mean, because of the pandemic, a physical session is not exactly feasible right now. So if you need us to actually give a talk regarding entrepreneurship, bio-entrepreneurship in general, not only with CCAMP in mind, but also some general topics like bio-entrepreneurship or the level of, say, industry collaborations as far as science in present day India goes, etc. We can always do some networking events for you guys so that, your students can actually benefit out of this. So, and also we have a lot of incubation programs here at CCAMP. So when you are a startup that is less than 5 years old or an individual who is looking at, starting your entrepreneurship journey, we have an incubation service here at CCAMP where, you can utilize the R&D space here, some of the common equipments here at CCAMP, and actually make it feasible so that, you need not actually invest heavily on equipment when you can actually invest on, say, manpower or consumables for your research. Now, that being said, I understand that most of the audience present here might be associated with some incubator or some technology business incubator of their choice because their geographical location is not Bangalore or for some other personal reasons. If that is the case, then we have some virtual incubation programs also running with us. I would like to mention over here that the BIG grant exclusively, you need not be physically incubated at CCAMP. But then if in case you do not get a letter of intent, which is something that validates that, you are associated with a technology business incubator, if there is some delay in that regard from your incubator, you can just write to us and we can actually give you a letter of intent that says that you might look at CCAMP as a prospective incubator once awarded. So that does not take away your choice as to whether you want to physically incubate at CCAMP or you want to associate with us on a later date. You can also continue pursuing your entrepreneurship with the incubator where you are presently. But then because the last date of the BIG is the 15th of February, if in case you do face any administrative hurdles or some delay in paper procurement, primarily because of the COVID conditions, not taking away anything from the incubating manager or something like that, primarily because of the COVID conditions, we can actually do that. And we would just require about, say, 24 hours of time from you to actually generate an LOI and give it in your name, basically. And then for graduates, exclusively who are individuals, or even people who are individuals not exactly oriented with any startup, we have these immersion programs. So basically, we just let you go into the field. We've done this with geriatrics, we've done this with agriculture, and we are presently doing that with food and nutrition sector. So it will be a theme-based, in-depth immersion program. So basically, you will be given a stipend of some amount for the set duration. So the first one, the geriatrics call, was for about 5 months. Now the food and nutrition call is a fellowship for about 18 months of time. So basically, you will have to identify real key problems on the ground, and then probably get your innovative mind to click and generate a solution in that regard. Or we can actually put or showcase the problems to the other startups, to the already present ecosystem in India, and generate some solutions in this regard. So this is basically a call for graduates, people who are supposedly ending their graduation in, say, this academic year, can also apply. So basically, it will be like a rotation. You will be on the field. You will actually notice many problems. So you will just jot down those real key problems on the ground so that we can take this forward and then work on this regard. Now, as far as the funding programs is concerned, we have a whole spectrum of funding opportunities, right from, say, grants to about, investments. So our funding structure is very wholesome in the way that we have created a complete ecosystem where in case you are awarded a grant. So basically, we fund you. We have some seed funding. We have some early stage funding for innovative ideas. So we have partnered with many government agencies in this regard, like BIRAC, MIT, KITS, that is exclusively for government of Karnataka startups. And then we have a plug-and-play model for a furnished laboratory space for bio-incubation. We incubate you. We help you network amongst your other peers of entrepreneurs that we have here at CCAM. And also we mentor you in a way of, we conduct many workshops and networking events where we put you directly in touch with many business counterparts that will cater to your commercialization angle. And also we have an accelerator program, which is a deep dive mentorship. So basically, after, say, the 18-month period of the BIG, we see you where you have something like some sort of a proposed solution, some structure to the proposed solution, probably a beta prototype of the device that you want to get into the market, something that says that, look, this is doable. So we have these startup advancement programs that actually cater to very specific queries, like, for example, regulatory or validation or design of clinical trials, large scale clinical trials. So we have those also at hand. So in this way, you are at every step. So basically, we start from funding, because usually cash is the major crux of most of the problems that entrepreneurs face. So once you are funded, we incubate you, we mentor you, and then we accelerate you. It need not actually work in this favor. We've had so many people who come here to incubate with us and that get funding and mentorship. Sometimes people who incubate with us do not actually require the funds from CCAM, so funding comes in at a later stage. So they directly go in for mentorship, acceleration, and then funding. So how you cater through this journey is completely dependent on you. We have this complete ecosystem where, biotechnological proposed solutions can actually hit the market as soon as possible, as easy as possible. So basically, at every stage of your growth, so we have these identification of innovators that we do. We handhold them. We have umpteen number of discussions with them where we kind of make them understand that there are some gaps in the way they see it, because usually people who come to us as individual innovators or as startups that are less than 5 years old may not actually garner to the requirement of the industry. So they might come from academic backgrounds or probably students even, right? So you would be very tuned to the academic setup. You wouldn't know how to cater to the entrepreneurship journey. So there might be many gaps in your technical functionality of the proposed solution that we actually pinpoint and we tell you to actually concentrate on. And then we have the incubation facilities, which is the early stage support ecosystem that we have. Side by side, we also connect you with many IP, regulatory, and international ecosystem players, along with investors. And then we have many bridge funding or equity funding schemes, and then followed up with accelerator programs. So as part of the funding and the investment opportunities offered by CCAM, we have early stage funding, which is the BIG, the Agri COE program. We have the Sparsh SIIP program, which is basically for mother care, health, child health, basically. And then the Mighty Seed Fund. Under the bridge funding schemes, we have many seed funds like the BIRAC Seed Fund, the Nidhi SSS scheme, as well as the Atal Innovation Mission Seed Fund. And then for scale up, we have tied up with some Japanese counterparts as well as some in-house investors to actually give you funding. So the entire schema actually ranges from, say, less than 20 lakhs to about 3.3 CR. And in addition to this, we have many direct, meets with the investors. We also set up many VC-based funding as well as many angel funding opportunities as well. So coming to the BIG scheme, as far as the bio-entrepreneurship in India is concerned and the impact it creates is concerned, we have funded, incubated, accelerated, and advanced about 250 plus startups here at CCAM physically. We are indirectly associated with about 2,000 plus startups all over India. We have about, say, 20 plus new patents that are filed by CCAM startups. And also we have about 40 plus life science or health related products that are in the pipeline. 20 of them are already in the market. So this is the brief overview that we have had, an impact that has been created from 2009. So we are ourselves new to the ecosystem, but it is wonderful as to how networking can actually enrich you individuals as well as everybody here as far as bio-entrepreneurship is concerned. So some of the innovations that are supported by CCAMP are a PAR theme. So you would have heard some of the incubators actually, or some of the partners being very oriented to a particular theme, say devices or agri for that matter. We at CCAMP, we are PAR themes. So we have had a wonderful association with people in healthcare, including medical devices, oncology, molecular technologies, therapeutics, maternal and child health, etc. And also we have had equal impact with waste management, industrial biotechnology, nutraceuticals, veterinary sciences, and agriculture is concerned. So some of these startups, most of these startups that I am portraying here have been associated with us for about 6+ years now. And most of them have actually ensued on their journey of entrepreneurship with much elan, and also have had more than $100 million as, sometimes even $10 million as follow-on funding. So as far as the funding innovations is concerned, as I said, the early stage funding is usually grant-based. So we have 2 grants right now in this regard. One is the Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is the call that is open right now. And also we have the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, which is less than 20 lakhs. And then we have many bridge funding or investments that happens over here between the proof of concept to the innovation stage. And then for about scale up and large scale production, commercialization, etc., we have many accelerating funding again on the mode of investments. So basically at CCAMP, we have startups or individuals who are associated with us who receive less than 20 lakhs of funds to about 3.3 CR per person coming into CCAMP. So basically, why CCAMP as an implementing partner for BIG? One is that the mentorship and the handholding is done throughout the grant. This is completely customized to CCAMP. So basically, we have people with whom we have started discussions with probably in January this year, so that they can apply in July, not for the present call. So sometimes there is a lot of hand-holding that happens, a lot of discussions that happens, because we want you to pitch perfect in front of the panelists or to the reviewers. In addition to this, we also have one thing is that we're very clear in the fact that we do not take any equity in your company or once you form a company after awarding BIG, because BIG, as we understand, is an early stage grant. So even you are very new and novel to the field. So, diluting some part of your company just because you are to be incubated at CCAMP or associated with CCAMP as an implementing partner does not make sense. So we want you to have the strongest foot forward once you finish the 18-month or the set duration of the BIG grant. And then there are no hidden charges with respect to any avenue at CCAMP. So whatever facilities you are availing at CCAMP is at a nominal cost, number one. Number two is that we do not have anything like, something that is not on paper and something for which we charge you on a later date. All the correspondence are in line with BIRAC norms. So as far as the BIG grant is concerned, so whenever we get an approval as to what is the next step going to be and whether you are going ahead with the BIG grant, etc., everything would be in line with BIRAC norms. And we have once you are awarded the BIG grant, we have very specific and curated discussions with BIG experts or mentors who actually help you, charter your journey even after the 18-month time of the BIG grant. So some of the schemes that we have here at CCAMP, especially the funding oriented schemes, actually take you up to the level of sales or commercialization. So as I said, less than 20 lakhs to about 3.3 CR is what we have for you on our table right now. We connect you with experts in respective fields. So for example, even during the BIG grant, if you are not pertained to the idea or entwined to the idea of what next, we can actually, we can handhold you, but then if we feel that you need to be guided by an expert, we put you in touch with the right people. So somebody, like for example, if you have a medical device in mind, we can actually put you in touch with somebody at the CDSCO or, for example, CPSIA and everyone. So this is basically something that during the BIG grant or after the BIG grant that actually kicks in. We have an MOU with over 6 countries so that, in case you are looking at a global scale up, we have a soft landing mechanism that is ready to go in your favor. And also in parallelly, we have many industrial collaborations with us with whom you can actually test, even validate the functioning of your device going ahead, irrespective of whatever theme you are going to, like for example, diagnostics to agriculture to even veterinary sciences. We do have many industrial collaborations at Apply. So coming to the BIG grant as such, this is basically a grant that applies to an idea to POC kind of a stage. So basically as a startup, you will have these 4 stages in mind. So one is the idea stage where you feel that, okay, probably, such a thing can happen. This may be the solution to the present gap that you see in the market. And then you have the POC stage where you have some valid data to actually collaborate that, look, this works. And then you generate a prototype out of it, a proposed solution out of it. And then you innovate. It is called an innovation only after it is because it is ready for industrial collaboration. So as far as the BIG is concerned, the idea to POC is where the BIG works. But then right now, because BIG, is a competitive grant, we always tell people that, idea is not the only thing that sells. So you need to have some sort of a prelim data that actually nurtures your idea, backs your idea. So basically, if you're looking at some sort of an, say an aphid-based, infestation in agriculture, for example, it would be better if you can say that, look, at least it is not, it can be biodegradable, it is something that does not affect the plant, it is something that actually has a direct merit to the effort because it I don't know, plunges us in intestines or something like that. But then you will have to validate whether this can be done in the field setting. So if you have some data that says that, look, this can restrict the aphid population, or basically bring down the population of the aphids in a lab condition, in order to make it into a ready-made POC so that it can be tested in the fields, I think you are ready for the BIG grant. So as far as the applicants are concerned, we for the BIG grant, we cater to individuals, groups, as well as startups. So individuals can be from the academia or from the industry. The group can be from academia or from the industry. And if you are from the academia, it is irrespective of the fact that whether you are a senior student, you're a postdoc, or a faculty member, you can always apply. And if you're from the industry, you can be an employee, you can be a founder, or you can be a veteran to actually apply. But the only thing is you will have to be a graduate. If you are not a graduate, you would be ineligible for the BIG grant. Or at least the fact that, at the time of application, you should hold your professional certificate as to the fact that you have completed your course of graduation. Even if you do not have a degree certificate, you will need a professional certificate that says, look, I have completed my degree, my bachelor's, and I am now a graduate. Bachelor's in anything, BSc, BTech, anything would do. So the scope and the support of the BIG scheme is basically, as I said, it is not for basic research. You cannot say that, look, this thing does not affect the plant, so I'll be going in for aphids. You need some countermeasure that says that, look, it does not affect the plant, it does not, it does affect the aphids. Probably not in a field condition, but at least on a lab scale. And also it is not for high-end systematic clinical trials or field trials for that matter, or late-stage validation or certification of the technology. You can request up to 50 lakhs of rupees for not more than 18 months. So if you feel that you can complete the proposed solution in the working of the proposed solution in about 15 months, we are fine with it. But usually we at CCAMP actually tell people to actually have a timeline of, say, 14 to 18 months as the BIG timeline. And you can avail the said amount, like up to 50 lakhs, whatever you're requesting can be availed for market research, for patenting, for the working capital during the period, travel, salary of the team members, and as well as IP filing is concerned. And there is something called as a technology readiness level. This is a slide that I have put up because of some of the questions that I had gotten during the registration. So basically, these are the TRL levels according to NASA and the BIRAC website. So basically, TRL 1 is the lowest, where you have some paper studies done, you have published some literature, or maybe not your literature, but some peers, you have seen that there will be some basic properties with which you can work. And then there is the high end, which is the TRL 9, where basically it is operational, it is on scale up. You have some industry collaborator to actually manufacture the said product in its final form in high numbers. So the Biotechnology Ignition Grant is somewhere between TRL 2 to 3 to about 4 to 5. So also this depends on the theme that you are going to select. So for example, if you are in a drug-based theme and you are looking at, say, a drug screening platform, you would start somewhere between 1 to 2 because you will not be able to generate that much of data. But then if you are somewhere in devices or agri, it would be between 2 to 3. And when you are ending your BIG grant after the said period of, say, 18 months or less, if you are in the drug scheme, probably you will reach between, say, 3 to 4, not more. But if you are somewhere between in the devices or somewhere, you will be between 5 to 6. So this is where the biotechnology grant actually comes in. So it also, the TRL level actually depends on the themes as well. So it would, but these are the TRL levels where you will stand. Like, for example, TRL level 1 is usually paper related studies, publications, literature. TRL level 2 is somewhere you have some preliminary data, but you don't know whether it will definitely work or no. And TRL level 8 is like where somewhere you have the proposed solutions ready, but it is not ready for launch, probably because it is not on a scale up level of operations right now. So the definitions of the TRL levels remains the same, but then the placement of yourself in the TRL levels is always theme dependent. So as far as the BIG scheme is concerned, the national call actually opens every 1st of January or every 1st of July. So if you feel that you are not ready for this call, or you feel that February 15th is too faster time or too earlier time, you can always avail the applications on the 1st of July of this same year. So basically the first step is the online application round, something that we will be looking at in detail in the upcoming slides. And then there is the eligibility screening that happens along with the preliminary screening committee. After this, we actually send out the proposals to a domain of experts, which is theme related, for a technical review. They say if this is feasible for 18 months, there are a couple of things that they will be looking at. And then comes the presentation by the applicant in front of the evaluation panel. After which a decision has been taken by BIRAC in the expert selection committee. And then once you are awarded or selected to be awarded, at CCAM, we undertake a financial and technical due diligence, followed by funding, incubation, and mentoring. So the primary thing is, when you are applying for the online proposal, bear in mind that the online proposal stays true for about 4 of these steps. So whatever information you are going to give us regarding you, your team members, with no plagiarism in that particular application is what is going to go ahead with. And basically the online proposal, whatever you write, is what is going to be undertaken for the technical review as well. The only time where you will be able to stand and pitch with your voice is in the final round of your application, which is the technical evaluation panel round. So it is very important that you actually cater to the draft of your proposal very seriously. So in this regard, once after this workshop, and probably once you have drafted your proposal, you can send it to us, and we can look at it much more in detail and send you a couple of comments that will cater to the BIG grant, because the BIG grant again is an entrepreneurship grant and not an academic grant. So there will be some things that would be required to be included in the grant, some rephrasing that might be required, and some technical clarifications probably to the scale, so that the reviewers are much more easily relate to your proposed solution can be catered to. So we at CCAM, we handhold you through all the steps here at the BIG. So this is primarily the overview of the proposal. So the first 6, which is basic information, who are your team members, particulars of the company, project leader, and everybody, as usually undertaken in the eligibility and the pre-screening round, something that is done at CCAM. And then the proposal details, your budgetary requirements, your objectives of the study, etc., that you will be undertaking and during the 18 months time or less will be undertaken in the online review round by the domain of experts. So as far as the eligibility criteria is concerned, so this is something that I had a lot of doubts on during the registration. So if you are an individual, then you should be a citizen of India, and the primary applicant will be the project leader. So we do not have anybody like the co-PI in the big BIRAC grant. We have one project coordinator and the others would be the team members. So if you are applying as an individual, you can apply as an individual and say that you will be recruiting your team members in the future. But then being an individual, we would require you to have a strong advisory role. Like, for example, your guide can be your PhD guide or your postdoc guide can be your, your scientific advisor or somebody of that. And for individuals, it will be mandatory that you incubate at a recognized technology business incubator. So there are about 78 technology business incubator bio-oriented across India. If in case you feel that you have to sit down and do a search on that, etc., do not worry. Till the 15th of February, you can always request CCAMP for an LOI, and then probably during the next few months till you are awarded, you can actually weigh out which would be the best TBI with respect to your proposed solution. If you are a faculty or an academia, it would be mandatory for you to get an NOC from the institute. And if you are an individual who is presently working in a company, you will have to give us a letter that you will step down from your current position once you are awarded. As far as companies are concerned, you should not be more than 5 years old. 51% of the ownership should be with Indians, and the project leader must be a shareholder in the company, something that is very important as far as the company applicants is concerned. And the no promoter or of the company should be a co-promoter in any biotech oriented company as far as a company application is concerned. So this is something that is there in the guidebook as well, something that we can share with you probably at the after this session is concerned. So coming to the proposal schema, the structure and the composition. So primarily there are three main parts in this entire scheme of the proposal. One is the idea. So basically what is, what is your idea all about? What is your target population all about? How are you going to be novel? So basically we don't want you to be novel in the way that, it's like groundbreaking, path-breaking kind of an idea. Something that can increase the efficiency of the present solutions in the market is also novel enough. So that can be an idea. What would be the impact that you create with that particular solution? The feasibility of completing the technical validation of this in 18 months time, and what is the competition in the market? That is something that we look at as far as the idea is concerned. And also we look at the team strength. So basically, if you are an individual, this is one question that we get at CCAMP all the time, is the fact that I'm an individual. Will I be compared against a 5-member team? We do not do that. Basically, we look at the technical strength of the project coordinator, if he or she can take it forward. So basically, if you are a 1-member team, an individual, a postdoc or a PhD student who is actually having some expertise in, say, metabolomics for that matter, and you feel that your entire proposal is going to charter out some proposed solution as far as metabolomic data is concerned, you will be the project coordinator, and we will see your technical strength when compared to the others. But then, yes, when you are applying as a company or as an individual, it would be mandatory to have some scientific advisor on board. We wouldn't be pressing you to have a business advisor on board. But yes, once you apply, probably you can start talks with someone so that they can help you or guide you understand what the business strategies you can undertake in this. While writing the proposal, however, it would be mandatory for you to understand whether you will be going for a B2B, or that is business to business, or say a B2C, that is business to customer kind of a market. And then would be your business plan. So basically, who will be your buyers? Who will be your end customers? Would it be people buying it off the shelf, or somebody, you will be targeting pharma companies who will then do the marketing for you? What is the competition basically in the market for? How many competitors do you have in the market, and how are you much better than the present competitors in the market? So this market plan need not be done by any professional business advisories or somebody like that. It is something that can be done by you as well. We just need a crude plan as to how you will be going ahead into the whole segment. So as far as the evaluation criteria of the BIG scheme goes, so you have the unmet need. So basically, have you targeted a valid need in the population? Something like a value proposition or a differentiation. How do you stand out with the present solutions in the market? Your technical viability, how will you be able to charter this out in 18 months time? Is it something doable in about 18 months time, or something that would be seen? The team strength and the passion of the team, probably the passion will not be that evident in the online proposal, but then yes, this team strength as to how you can cater to this forward will be looked at. And then does this idea have any commercialization potential is something which we consider to be a critical qualifier as far as CCAM is concerned, because at the end of the day, BIG is an entrepreneurship grant. So you will have to look at something that hits the market, having a business proposition in mind. So at least if you have some clarity on the lines of how you are going to go ahead with your business proposition, you can actually apply for the BIG grant. We do not want anything concrete from business associates or professional business analysts, etc., to actually validate your idea in this regard. It is something that can be done on some crude terms by you yourself. So these are the components and the order in which the big scheme proposal is concerned. So the first one is the summary and overview, objectives, the novelty, the opportunity, challenges that you see for the technical viability of the project, some preliminary work which is done, and outcomes, commercial plan, intellectual property, and then some literature references if you have any. So primarily, before going through all those, let me again cater to the fact that a letter of intent can be issued from CCAM, for which we need the name of the primary applicant, the project coordinator. If you are a company, we would need the name of the company as well. Okay, the full name of the company as well. Whether you are a private limited LLP, please include in the name of the company. And then a finalized title of the proposal for LOI issuance. Please understand that because 15th of February is too fast a date or too early a date, just because you keep changing the title of your proposal, we can't keep rolling out LOIs from our end repeatedly. So we request you to finalize the title of your proposal for at least for LOI assurance, and also maintain the same title as is in the LOI in the proposal as well. So these are some of the factors that you will be looking at in the proposal. So first thing is you will have to undertake, whether you're an individual or a company. If you are an incubatee, what is the name of the incubatee? Where are you incubated at? And if you are a company, then you will have to give the name of the company along with the title of the proposal. So the title of the proposal and the title given in the LOI should match. So basically, the project coordinator, as I said, we do not have any co-PIs in this BIG grant. We have one project coordinator who will be the point of contact, and all the others will be considered as team members. And your scientific advisors and mentors, etc., can be added as a separate segment. So your proposal duration maximum for 18 months, and your relevant area, this will be a drop down, whether you are in the drugs, devices segments, whether you are in the nanotech segment, etc. You can just put it in here. And then your BIG partner would be CCAMP. Although you might be incubated at any other TBI, your implementing partner, that is a person who would give you mentorship and also release funds in your name on a timely basis, would be CCAMP. So there is a difference between a big partner and the incubator. Big partner would be CCAMP for you guys, and the incubator would be the geographical equation TBI, where you are presently placed or looking to place. If you have not initiated something on that regard, you can put the incubator to be CCAMP as well, because an LOI will be generated in the name of CCAMP. This is basically for the repeat applicants. So basically, if you have applied to any of the big partners, so in case you are a person who have applied in the previous rounds, but it is for a different proposal, please include that as well, because your name will come up in the BIG round. So even if for example, the project coordinator might have changed the name of the company, but the name of the project coordinator would remain the same. So we would request you to put everything over here, and the reason why it was not recommended can be included here, and the action taken would be the fact that you have changed the idea of the entire proposal, or this is a different idea altogether. So you can put whatever comments you have over here. In case of company applicants, this will be an overview as to all the information that you will have to give into the proposal. So it is quite, lengthy. So do not do this in the last minute, because again, you will have issues with the server as well. So date of the incorporation of the company, you will have to upload all the documents that you have pertaining to your company: MOA, AOA, name of the parent company, your SIN number, name of the promoters, name of the partners, and also any of the funding schemes that you have availed earlier, irrespective of whether it is from BIRAC or not. And also you will have to upload the shareholding pattern. As I said, the company that has less than 51% of shares held by foreign or foreign individuals will not be eligible for the application. These are for the individuals. So for the individuals, you will have to upload your PAN card, your passport. In case you do not have a passport, then you can apply for an affidavit, a 20 rupee, I think, affidavit stating on stamp paper stating that you are an Indian national. And then you will have to upload your incubator LOI over here, which is mandatory for individuals. MOU agreement or the incubator LOI for the companies can be uploaded as part of the additional documents. And then if you are a partner in any firm, do you have a functional laboratory of your own, and have you availed any funding scheme from BIRAC or any other said agencies? Again, team members should be added. Probably a resume of the team members would also help in this regard. And then scientific advisors in the prescribed format. So basically, it is just an overview of the resume that you will have to add over here. This is the detail of the entire overview of the proposal. So basically, I wouldn't give more than say 200 to 250 words to each of these segments. We do have a word limit as far as the BIG grant is concerned. So one is the proposal summary. So over here, you need not tell us like, ovarian cancer is dire or something like that, and give us like 1 in 2 women are already suffering from some initial findings of ovarian cancer. You need not give that. We already know that ovarian cancer is dire. But then in the proposal summary, please do understand that you will have to give us the reference point will be 3 things in your entire proposal. One is your proposed solution. How are you going to mitigate or alienate the ovarian cancer or diagnostics or whatever detection system presently available? That is number one. Second thing would be, one is your proposed solution with which you have to write the entire proposal. Second thing is, how are you going to cater to a large population? And third thing is the fact that what is so new or novel in your entire idea that the present solutions in the market would be, that yours would be better than the present solutions in the market. And then if you feel that the proposal summary of 200 words will not help you clearly define what your idea is or the technical working of your proposed solution, you can always upload a concept note, which would be an illustrative form or a PDF copy of your entire technology with necessary figures and diagrams. Then you can actually state the objectives of the proposed solution. So basically the strategy or the methodology of work can be put here. Any boundaries that you feel that the work will not cater to, and also any data analysis that is being done. Novelty would be like how different it is from the existing solutions in the market. Some sort of a tabular representation would also do, comparing how your idea and other ideas are in the market. You can also upload a table in this regard. If in case you feel that you cannot put it rightly in words, you can actually have a comparative table as well. And then what would be your societal or the market impact? What is the purpose proposed? How do you propose to solve this entire need that you find in the market? And then would be the challenges or the risk factors. So basically, if this project, there'll be some critical success factors or some potential barriers that you might feel, which is given in your proposed solution. How do you see that, how do you cater to or think about associating with this project differently? Preliminary work is always good to actually put up. So in case, this is something that you have to put in words. So sometimes preliminary data comes with scientific validation like figures, tables, etc. So you can actually have that uploaded as an additional document. Just say prelim data and in your document name, and then you can upload it into your additional details. The proposed end outcomes would be either a product or a knowledge-based service along with a IP right, or if any other, you can just supply. Usually, these are the 4 things in which a proposed idea can actually have a proposed end outcome. And then how do you plan to commercialize? So basically, it will be either B2B, which is business to business. It can be B2C, which is business to customer. It can also be B2G, which is government sectors. You might actually go to some milk agencies or somebody like that to actually detect some milk pathogens, etc. And then what would be your timelines and your milestones and the data analysis again. So if any IP has been raised, kindly include this in your project. If you have not done any search regarding patent or the freedom to operate, you can actually have a simple web engine search that you can do. And you can just say that, this can indirectly affect. So usually direct patents are very few that might actually hinder you, but then there might be something that, for example, if you're using some nanoparticles in your research, so the entire product can be patented, but then the use of the nanotechnologies cannot be patented, and that might become a hindrance to the freedom to operate. So you will have to understand whether any indirect patents are actually present that can actually hinder. If you feel that you do not have time for this, you can just say that, it will be done, or a prior art search will be done in the future. And then relevant references, as I said, probably some literature survey that was done in this regard. Basically, how did you start off with your entire idea? So this is a declaration document, something with ethical, legal, safety, or regulatory issues are concerned. And then this is where I said you can actually upload any relevant documentation. So basically LOIs with respect to companies, MOUs with incubators with respect to companies, any prelim data, any additions to the concept note, etc., can be added to this here. Objectives in BIG is a little tricky because we come up as 3 subtypes. So basically objective 1 is something that we do. So you have an 18-month time that you have to cater to. So usually we put it as 3 objectives, like 3 milestones. So objective 1 would be 0 to 6 months, 7 to 12 months would be objective 2, and 13 to 18 months would be objective 3. So that is how we put the objectives as, and primarily what would be, basically this is like phases of your study, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And then you can say what would be your experimental design with detailed work plan and alternative strategy. So in case you feel that the strategy may not work, what would be the next alternate strategy that you can go for? And then this would be like the subset of objective 1. So in phase 1, what would be the activities that will be undertaken? And then what would be the indicator of progress? And then overall, in the proposal milestones, again, you will have to just redo the whole thing. So test objective 1 would be phase 1 of the study. Under activity 1, what would be the indicator of progress? So this is how it is phased, so that people know with clarity what they should do in the 18 months time. This basically tells us how clear and viable you have thought about your entire proposal. And then this is the budget. So we have a separate thing for equipment, we have human resources, we have consumables, and other recurring heads. So basically for equipment, manpower, and for outsourcing, it is 30% of your entire amount. So if you are requesting for 50 lakhs, 50, you cannot request for more than 15 lakhs for each of these budgets, and the remaining amount can be utilized for the rest of it. And then again, here is like the cumulative. So basically equipment is on the whole, which is a total, and then ABC would be a total. For repeat applicants, we request you that, whatever include whatever comments you have received from the last previous applications, irrespective of the number of calls you have, been a part of. And in your responses, I understand that sometimes the comments from the reviewers are not very friendly. Sometimes they might, completely negate the fact that they have even understood your proposal. It does happen at times, but then you will also have to bear in mind that the reviewers go through about 20 proposals a day. So you will have to be a little forgiving in that nature. So actually be polite and respectful in your responses, and also highlight how you have modified your proposal with respect to some of the comments. So some of the comments, most of the comments that you receive from the reviewers are something that is doable, something that is constructive. So you can actually highlight that, in the objectives, I have included this part of the this part of the comments, this comment has been included in milestone or objective 2 or objective 3 in that regard, and also include a progress that has been made since the last review. So this would be the end of my presentation. So this would be a to-do list. So basically, I would require you to actually have a brainstorming session with your peers, with your team members, etc. Be mindful of the word limit in each segment. The budget can be requested up to 50 lakhs, not more. You can share a draft of your finalized draft of your BIG application directly downloadable. The format is downloadable from BIRAC. I am sure that my team members have also mailed you the same. It would come under the name of user guide, basically. So primarily, we would like you to share the draft by like the February 10th. The last date for LOI issuance would be the 13th of February. Although the last date of the application is February 15th, we understand, please understand that a lot of issues with the server and everything happens in the last 24 hours of the big application. So kindly have a preferred last date of upload to be February 14th rather than 15th. So this is the overall that I have as far as the BIG grant goes. There are a couple of questions that we will have to undertake, I guess, Q&As. Right. So, Deepa, would you like me to go last first on this?
No, Nitya, whatever I've answered, it is directly going to them. So the ones that are there in Q&A are the ones that's not yet answered. You can take it up from the top.
Okay, so the ones that are open are the ones that I have to go through, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Meanwhile,
Okay.
I'm sending some replies.
Hi, Sanjib. Hope you're well. Like to collaborate with CCAMP on providing services to this thing. We will handle data present. Like I said, just give us a mail. You know our team very well. So I would request you to kindly give your mail ID. Just put in a mail that you are looking at utilizing CCAMP for commercial applications, some of the services at CCAMP for commercial applications. I'll put you in touch with the right team and we can go ahead from there. LCMS is something that we work on a day-to-day level. So we can look at that with a wonderful perspective in the future. Germkill says that mentioned in the registration, can CCAM provide us a facility for carrying out research out of your lab, campus and labs? Yes, Nitin, you can utilize the incubation facilities here at CCAMP. For now, probably an LOI would do in order to take the BIG grant forward, just to start off the BIG grant. But then if you want to get in touch with our incubation facilities, I can also always put you in touch with the team members at who undertake the incubation facilities here at CCAMP. So you can just email us. The email ID would be, as I said earlier, ccamp_big at ccamp.res.in. Swati has a question of, will you also test small molecules or drugs against COVID in CCAMP? Yes, we do have a COVID testing unit here at CCAMP, and we also have the variants, Indian variants as well as NIH-based variants, for which you can do your preliminary testing done. We also have a Drosophila and a mice facility where you can do the first initial steps of a small scale animal experimentation against COVID or of the drug of your interest against COVID. So if you can just write us an email, I think we can actually go ahead with this. Facilities for the COVID related research are already underway at CCAMP. Simi Sudarshan asks, is the OTT a chargeable service? Yes, it is, but it is very nominal when compared to other patent lawyers and everyone. You have to understand that the OTT service here caters to NCBS, INSTEM, GKVK, and all the other associated academic institutions that we have in Bangalore as well as out of Bangalore. So OTT platform is definitely nominal at CCAMP when compared to other concerned bodies. Does CCAMP evaluate patent applications filed provisionally? Yes, we do. The OTT team does that on a very regular basis. So provisional patents can be relooked and evaluated, Kalpana. Good afternoon, Neeta. Prasoon Avasti. I am going to finish my PhD and would like to apply for the BIG scheme. I have also filed a patent for the innovation. Do we have any process so that I can get my own sufficient salary out of this funding? Because it will be quite difficult to survive. I understand. I completely understand and relate to you, Prasoon. So the BIG grant for the manpower, if you are requesting for about 50 lakhs, 50, you can allocate about 15 lakhs of your budget for manpower, and that manpower can be utilized for salary for all the team members. So if the project coordinator is one of the team members, and they can avail from the funding as well. I find it difficult to use the analytical facilities like NMR and GCMS. Opt out for one analysis. How do I address this? Vinayak, I would request you to actually email us in this regard, because the analysis part of NMR and GCMS are all completely oriented on the molecule that you are trying to analyze. So probably this requires a curated discussion. So in case if you can just email us, I can put you in touch with our services team and they can get in touch with them. Sharad is like, regarding immersion program, I want to know, does it exclusively for a graduate or a person who has completed PhD can also apply? So primarily to apply for any schemes at CCAMP, the minimum qualification is a graduate. So if you are a PhD scholar, it's fine. But the fact is that you should have completed your graduation. That is a minimal requirement that we see at CCAMP, irrespective of whatever avenue you are trying to get into. Anila, can we keep the equipment purchased in our institution? So Anila, institution-based BIG applications is the fact that if your institution is recognized to be a technology business incubator, you can utilize the equipment in your institution. But otherwise, you will have to be associated with a technology business incubator, and you can utilize the common equipments that are present in the technology business incubator. So the equipment head of the BIG grant can be utilized for any specific equipment that you would require and not available as part of the common equipments. Priya Ashok is like, I do not understand the 15 lakh per milestone. Is it possible to repeat? So BIG grant is a milestone dependent disbursement of funds. So primarily in the 18-month period, you will be having overall of say three milestones. So M1 would cater to say 0 month to 6th month. M2 would be from the 7th month to the 12th month. And then M3 would be from the 13th month to the 18th month. So once you complete that particular milestone, we will have another technical update from you guys, so that we know that you have completed M1 and you are ready to go to M2, and the next tranche of funds will be released. So basically, on signing of the agreement, we will release 30% of the funds. After you complete M1, we would be releasing 30% of the funds. M2, again, there is a release of 30% of funds, and M3 would be the remaining amount on reimbursements. So that is how BIG is structured. So BIG is actually something which is a milestone related release of grants. Gunjan says, please repeat the second reference point of the summary you mentioned. So Gunjan, in the summary, I think by reference point, you mean like in the proposal summary, you have to cater to three things. One is the proposed solution. So basically, what is your proposed solution? Whether it is a diagnostic kit that you are applying to, whether it is a device, or what is the gap that you see that you have to have the solutions onboarded. Okay. The second thing is that how do you cater to the larger population in the whole segment? And the third thing is, how will you easily scale up and commercialize in this whole thing? So I think that is what was my second reference point. So basically, you will have to tell us as to how this is feasible, how it is doable, and how can you get a viability technically out of it in this 8 months. Swati, you can just write us an email and we can put you in touch with the right team for COVID testing. Srijita says if the product has been developed and validated, has been done with some testings, the category is drug since it is invasive. So which TRL is my project? So if it has been validated with some testings and you are into the drug sector, I think it would be between 4 to 5. Swati, kindly send us an email. We can take this offline. Yeah, Debashni?
Yeah, Nitya, actually, there are some people who have raised their hands. So do you think we can allow them to talk and ask you questions directly?
Yeah,
and
sure.
This also holds true for people who want to ask the question directly instead of typing it out. So please raise your hand in that case. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
So Nitin Anil wants to talk. So I'm going to put him online now. Nitin.
Thank you. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are, Nitin. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my basic question is, ma'am, so we are a startup into waste management. So we have identified our technology partners. We have developed a platform. So, ma'am, we need funds for manufacturing our devices. So could I mention that in the funds, for the funds?
So manufacturing the devices, as in, have you finished the initial R&D saying that this prototype would work?
Yes, ma'am. We had an initial, we use existing components that's available in the market. Right now, we are working on reducing the components and reducing the power consumption. So our R&D would be completing another, say, 2 months. So we needed funds for that and the production stage so that we can move into the revenue.
So basically, you do not have a beta prototype in hand, right? You are still doing the iterations for your thing for
market product
levels of market on levels of power and everything, power efficiency as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can apply for the BIG grant.
Okay.
If you have some iterations to be done that requires some sort of validations in order to consider this to be a beta prototype, you can apply for the BIG grant.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Next up, shall we put Gunjan Prakash? Did we answer her question, Nitya?
Yeah,
Gunjan
I
Prakash,
think so,
yes.
but if she's putting up a hand, probably she has another question. So, yeah, Gunjan, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is that for a TBI, you have mentioned that CCAM can be the partner, but for more geographically specific TBI partner, from where can we get the information, their details, so that we can ask for LOI from them?
So, Gunjan, see, because you have only 15 days left for the BIG grant, right? So I would prefer you get an LOI from CCAMP with respect to you have to just give us the name of your project coordinator, name of the company, and then your finalized title of the proposal. We will be generating an LOI within 24 hours. And it comes with no bearing saying that, you will have to be physically incubated at CCAM once you are awarded the BIG grant. The BIG grant process is about 5 months, if not less, right? So definitely in these 5 months, you can initiate some talks with a TBI closer to your geographical location and then finalize on the same. So once awarded, you can just email us telling that you will be incubated so-and-so TBI, XYZ TBI. Okay. Now, to get a list of the TBIs that would be pertinent to your interest, either with respect to geographical location or with respect to, some sort of a technical validation or something like that, kindly go through the BIRAC website. The BIRAC website has all the details.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And I have one more question. So I am basically from academia, and if I want to have an industrial partner, or in other way, if industry apply, can I be the team member?
You mean if in a company application, can you be the team member?
Right.
Are you a faculty?
Yes, I am.
If you are a faculty, then you would be a scientific advisor.
Okay. Okay.
But then if you are looking at quitting your present job and then jumping to the industry sector, if the startup is awarded, then you can become a team member.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Srijita wants to talk. Should I put her on, Nitya?
Yeah, Srijita. And then I think Akhilesh.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Srijita.
So, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, we have developed our product to mitigate the AMR uh, probability. So, ma'am, we have developed the product, but the thing we are facing that we are facing some patenting issue, and we need to validate our product like in R&D, like since it is an invasive product. So, ma'am, are we eligible for this big grant?
Yes, you are. And I will parallelly, if you shoot us an email, I will parallelly put you in touch with the OTT team so that you can start patent related formalities as well.
Okay, ma'am, sure. That would help. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Okay, then we have Akhilesh.
Hi, Nitya. Akhilesh this
Hi.
side.
Hi.
Hope you're doing well.
Good.
So the thing is, we are based out of Cochin and we are actually market ready with a diagnostic product. And we already have our CDSCO test license, and we are just waiting for the CDSCO's main license. And our ISO certification is also on the way. So how do you think we will fit into the big grant scheme?
So the main thing about the BIG grant is you need to have some R&D component to finalize the working of your proposed solution. So if you have already gone up for CDSCO, I would like to know, like, have you taken CDSCO validation for the entire kit? Or is it like probably this will work?
Ours is a body fluid analyzer.
Okay.
And basically we have it for the device as well as we have it for the assay kits. So there will be different assay kits for different diagnosis.
So have you, okay.
So we have taken it for all the existing assay kits that we have actually researched and have found out the solution for. We have taken the CDSCO test license for them. Now we are only the CDSCO main license is the pending one.
And as far as the kit is concerned, is it in the beta prototype stage or is it like ready for scale up?
It is a market ready.
A market ready. So if you're market ready, then I think you would not be into the BIG grant. But what I would like you to do is just apply for the BIG grant. I'll tell you why. It's because you will get some critical feedback from the reviewers. Probably they will identify that you are way beyond the BIG stage, right? But probably some critical feedback from the reviewers can help you, guiding you forward. That is number one. So do not apply for the BIG grant. Just apply and see how it goes. You'll get some critical feedback out of the whole thing. Second thing is, we will connect offline, Akhilesh, because if you are ready for scale up, then we have an index platform available for diagnostic kits, which closely works with the diagnostic sector, right? So probably you can get in touch with them because we get kits approved from ICMR and other sources as well. And we've already generated one kit for COVID exclusively that can detect all the 3 strains of COVID virus right now. So, and that was done in like say 45 days of time. So I can get you in touch with the index because you say you're market ready. Probably I can get you in touch with the index team and you can probably take it forward from there.
Yeah, so basically we are not into the COVID detection. We are basically into
irrespective. I mean, that is one example that I gave you. Even if you're not in the COVID sector, the index team will definitely be able to help you.
Cool. So how can I reach out to you?
You can just I'll just put it in the chat box probably. Yeah, I'll just send out an email ID in the chat box so that you can just send us an email and I can put you in touch with the right team.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are too many email IDs at CCAMP. So there'll be one point of contact from you and then I can siphon you off to the right team.
Yeah, so it is CCAM_big at CCAMP.res.in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll keep an order.
Definitely. Thanks, Akhilesh. Prabhakaran, I guess.
Yeah, yes. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. We are from academia. We are planning to develop a new device with current advanced technology, with a very cost-effective manner. We are eligible to apply this big scheme.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Definitely. Only thing we would require from you is an NOC from the university.
Yeah, that's no problem.
And then you can apply as a project coordinator.
Yes, ma'am. Another one question, ma'am. We have our own technology incubation center as institutions. We need a letter of intent from CCAM.
If you can get an MOU or a LOI from that TBI, it is fine. Otherwise, if you feel that there is a delay, we can issue one from CCAM for the interim, just for the application, so that you can meet the deadline.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Prabhakar, I would like to add, as answer to your query earlier, your TBI should be government recognized.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sanjeev,
Sanjeev and then Aslam.
Okay. Sanjeev, you are up.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Ma'am, regarding my proposal for collaboration with CCAM, as pay for service, I wanted to know what kind of mass spectrometers are there in CCAM lab.
The details of the equipment, I am not the right person, Sanjeev. I'm very sorry. But I know that we have some high-end LCMS equipment that are presently in use. So if you can just write an email, you know the email ID that you have to write to. You can just write to me or Vishal or CCAM_Big, and we can put you in touch with one of the team members for sure. Because I am not the right person for the in detail technical facilities. So it would be best if you get the right information.
Sure, ma'am. I will drop an email. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay.
Aslam?
Yeah. Where is Aslam? Okay, yeah, found him.
Aslam?
Very pleasant good afternoon, ma'am. This is Dr. Aslam from Jamal Muhammad College, Trichy. Earlier, I have applied for one BIRAC project on anti-COVID botanicals. That project was called for only for 6 months period. So I proposed to buy LCMS. So they said that it is not possible to finish the project within the span of 6 months. But after that, I carried out certain follow-up research and find that if I have LCMS facility and anti-COVID testing facilities, there will be very good outcomes may come out of that product. So can I apply with the BIG program with the LOA?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But then if you do not have an LCMS facility as well as a COVID testing facility at your disposal immediately where you are right now, you can actually have some of your students come in as your team members, take a space at CCAMP and avail the incubation as well as the facilities are concerned. So you can do your entire R&D at CCAMP.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
And we can generate an LOI in this regard.
Do I need any industrial partner for promotion of the product or?
Not immediately, not for the BIG grant.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will write mail to you.
Sure. Thank you, Dr.
And we can generate an LOI in this. Do I need any industrial partner? Sorry about that. Should we go with raised hands, Nitya, or do you want to go through the Q&A also? I mean, we can switch a little bit. Or...
Yeah, we can switch to Q&A, and then I'll come back to the.
Yeah, I think so.
Kalpana, okay. Nilambari says, as a college faculty, can we avail a CCAMP incubation center for high-end experiments like animal studies and trials? Yes, you can, Dr. Nilambari. Incubation, not the incubation center, but the services facility center, you can avail for high-end animal studies and trials. So you can just send us an email to the same email ID I have mentioned in the chat box. We can send you to the right team here. Jayachandra asks, is individuals instead of company are eligible to apply for the BIG grant. Individuals and company are eligible to apply for the BIG grant as far as individuals who are graduates are concerned. I mean, you should be a graduate in order to avail the BIG grant. Anmol says, can we get our existing infection control products tested against the novel as a paid testing service? Yes, Anmol, you can. Our COVID testing labs are there for that. You can get it done. No issues. Prabhakaran asks, LOI from CCAMP is compulsory, or can I just select CCAMP in the application? So basically, Prabhakaran, LOI from CCAMP would be compulsory for uploading your application going ahead. So it would be better if you can get a LOI generated. It takes less than 24 hours on our end. So you can just have it as a draft, and you can upload the LOI and finalize your application as soon as possible. Neeta Gai, I am already incubated at Dharwad. Can I still continue being incubated at Dharwad? Yes, you can. You can continue to be incubated at Dharwad with CCAMP as your implementing partner. But please make sure that you are incubated in Dharwad at a recognized, government-recognized technology business incubator. Balachandra, greetings. Excellent program. Can I write an email with some questions? Dr. Balachandra, you can get in touch with CCAMP to us with CCAMP_BIG at ccamp.res.in. Anonymous. Okay. Any positions from technology related proposals or startup initiative? If you are asking for career related options, then I think you will have to follow us on our social media platforms. We always keep uploading any career based opportunities that we have. And also kindly follow our startups as well, because they might have some positions available immediately. Gunjan Prakash says, if I'm applying as a faculty, is it mandatory to have another mentor? Probably yes, but then it also depends as to how much of experience you have and whether the entire proposal runs with your core of technical expertise. If that is the case, you may not require a scientific mentor, but then a scientific mentor is always like a peer who can actually help you through some nitty-gritty elements that might be required. Swati, can we get your email ID, Dr. Nitya? You can always email the team. I am part of the team. Getting me personally on email or phone is a little difficult. I'm very sorry about that. I need to work on that. So I would suggest you email the team and we can get in touch to the right people as soon as possible. Does the research facility at academic institution be eligible to apply? Mahesh, if if you are,
shall we put him on call?
Yeah, Mahesh, if Mahesh is available, I would like to just get a clarification on that.
Yeah, Mahesh, you are up.
Mahesh, if you could unmute yourself. Mahesh Sahare. Okay, slightly confusing is the fact that if you are a research facility or faculty, if you are a research faculty, you can apply with an NOC at your institute, from your institute. But if you are a research facility, then BIG is not the right thing. We have generated, okay, Jayachandra is like, we have generated POC using KBITS BBC sponsored fund. Are we eligible for the BIG grant? Yes, you are. You can apply for the BIG grant provided you have some R&D concept that you have to validate further. Getting an NOC from your institute is mandatory, Dr. Nilambari. As for the LOI, it will be generated from CCAMP within 24 hours. Jayachandra, if the technology was developed by a biotech startup company, then you will have to apply in the name of the biotech startup company. Sunita asks, can you help us with a connect with advisor in AI/ML field? You will find a lot of connects on social media platforms. If you are finding any difficulty, kindly shoot us an email. Debashni, I think we can take some questions with
from the
yeah,
Do you
Kalpana
want to
Das and then Jayachandra, I guess.
Yeah. Kalpana, you are, please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
The question is, if the innovator is not a graduate, can the innovator be part of the team? This is question
Not as a project coordinator, but as a part of a team member?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
And the second question is for patent viability. Do we have to get the patent evaluated prior to the LOI generation, or it can be done later on?
No. A simple web engine search will help for now.
No.
But then for a LOI, no. For an LOI, no. For an LOI, we only need the name of the project coordinator, name of the company, if you are a startup, and the finalized title of the proposal. LOI is completely independent of the patent.
Okay.
Patent search. So for the patent search, you can do a simple web engine search for now because of time constraints. But then after you have completed the deadline of your BIG application, probably you can get in touch with our team and they can help you with the patent search.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I think the same person has mentioned in the Q&A, what if the innovator who filed patent is non-graduate? I could not understand this query.
I don't know. Kalpana, was there a question from your end?
Yes. The same question was asked.
Okay. So the team member may not be a graduate, but then if you feel that he or she can add value to your team, you can have them as a team member.
Yeah, actually the patent applicant is a non-graduate.
Okay. And he's a part of your company, or?
He's a team member.
Okay. Are you a startup? Have you registered for a startup?
No, it's not a startup.
Okay. You can have him as a team member, onboarded as a team member.
Thank you.
Shall we put Jayachandra on?
Yes, please.
Jayachandra?
Kindly unmute yourself if you have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
We have generated technology regarding eco-friendly biodegradable plastic. Yeah, and we could able to patent also, file the patent also, Indian patent. So whether we are eligible to apply for a big grant, and what is the minimum eligibility criteria for applying this big grant?
So by we, do you mean that you're a startup or an individual?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, our technology readiness level is 6. For example, if 10 is the max, we are in the 6th position right now. So we need to validate by scaling up our product.
Validate with what? With the large number of plastics or with on-site, on-field plastic?
Industrial production, large scale production. So we have proved it in a laboratory scale. That technology is well established in the laboratory scale. We need to go for large scale production, mass production of.
No, by laboratory scale, you mean like what amount of plastic? It must be less than 5 liters, right?
Yes. Pilot scale study.
If you have done pilot scale study only, then you need not large production.
Like
probably you need not probably You can apply, but then you can't apply on the grounds of large scale production. You will have to apply on a large scale validation.
Validation as well as the deployment, right?
The deployment cannot come under the BIG grant. Deployment cannot come under the BIG grant. You can do it for large scale evaluation or validation. Because you have done only pilot scale, you've done only for 5 liters, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
You can go up to say 25 to 50 liters as far as BIG is concerned. You can apply.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next is Savita. Shall I put on Savita?
Yeah, Savita Nitin, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, we have done a DST project. It is an animal nutrition thing. We have developed a lick block, like it is a nutritional food from biodiesel byproduct. So we have done the trials still growing animals. Now we want to do it in a large scale. Like we need a collaboration with any entrepreneur or a company. And this I have done it in a lab scale. But I need to develop equipment, like it should be like a briquette type of thing. I needed technology also where that lick block, whatever is there, it has to be made with high pressure or something. So good form of the lick block. So I need a collaboration with some company, or if you could help me to put up with somebody so that they can help me, like a mechanical person or something, or I have to find out a partnership, because now I finished my project. Now I joined as a faculty.
Okay.
Ahead, I don't want to stop it.
So when you were doing the project, you were not a faculty?
No, I was not a faculty. I was a research scholar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I finished the project. We have got a good result. And in the
So those results are catering to you, or is it catered by the university?
No, it is catered by us only, but affiliated to my institute.
Have you joined the same institute as faculty?
No, no, no.
Okay. Can you just write us an email?
Yeah.
Because I think the DIA platform would be best for you if you're looking at industrial collaborations.
Yes.
So I think the Attract Live program, actually the last date just got over. The last date was for the 8th of January actually. So probably you will be on for the next call. The next call would open probably in December, but by then you can have some talks and discussions with the team at the DIA, and we can take it forward from there.
Yeah.
So instead of BIG, I would suggest, I mean, even if you want to apply, you can apply for BIG as well. It is just a matter of getting some comments that can help you further. So you can apply for BIG. Parallelly, I will put you in touch with the DIA team as well. We can take it forward from there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay, there is one question on virtual incubation. How do you avail virtual incubation by Vinayak? So basically, to avail virtual incubation, we would like you to write us an email as to why you would prefer virtual incubation when compared to physical incubation, and also give us an overview as to what you are working with. So I think with that, we can start off the discussion with the incubation team at CCAM. Okay.
There are some questions in the chat box also.
Yeah, I'm just going through that.
Dr. Anjana J.
One second. There is one from Nitin. Is advanced solar cell technology a suitable platform to apply for the grant? This grant is open to clean energy. Yes, Nitin, you can apply under solar cell technology. It comes under the clean tech environment-based proposal. So you can apply for that regard. Yes, you can. I think this is done. Debashni, if you could just tell the question from Anjana, I am not able to find it.
Yes. Yeah, it is a 1 second. Is it necessary to have a scientific advisor mentioned in the application?
It would be better, irrespective of you being an individual or a company, it would be better. At least if you do not have somebody on board at present, you can actually say that you are in talks to finalize a scientific and a business advisor. Please mention that anywhere during your grant, in your grant proposal, anywhere. If you do not have anybody on board right now, because of time constraints, I would prefer you to actually finalize the draft of your proposal rather than, scouting around for people. So it would be better if you can mention that you are in talks at least with some person who can be onboarded in the capacity of being a scientific and a business advisor.
Okay, I think Mr. Balachandra has been trying to contact, and he said that he missed a part of the audio. Can we put him on live?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay, I think he is not around. Okay. All right.
There is one from Dr. Vyas and Deeksha who have put their hands up.
Yeah, Dr. Vyas, I am putting on.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for the session and even for the recording. I have a query. I'm from healthcare sector and I'm working with food and nutrition. So my question is, what is that fellowship? And second thing, one of the same product may go into SPERSH SIIP program. So I need to understand more about these program and fellowship.
So, Dr. Vyas, may I know in what capacity are you right now? Are you a grad PhD?
Ma'am, I'm a professional. I have my proprietary company, and my product is ready to go to market, and with the prior proof of concept. So, in the same context, I want to know more about these two programs.
So the immersion program that you had mentioned, that is actually something that comes initially with a fellowship for graduates, basic graduates. Like even if you are a postdoc, that doesn't matter, but then you should be a graduate to actually avail that. So basically, these people are actually selected after a series of interviews, and we put them on the field, and they kind of understand what the key problems are, etc. And these key problems are taken up, and they can either be channelized through those graduates itself, or we put it up as a grand challenge where startups and other ecosystem players can actually match or match a solution to that dire need that is actually presently on in the society. That is one. And the second question regarding SPERSH SIIP, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that is a call that we have, I think, in around June or July. And that is again for individuals. It is, I don't think that is eligible for startups. So those are all like people who are yet to have a startup, who want to have a feel of the startups. It's basically a fellowship kind of a thing that we have for a set amount of time.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Shall we put on Diksha?
Yes, please.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Nitya. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation and the details of the discussion that you have provided. So I have one question that I also put in the chat box. I was not very much clear that I don't have sort of advisors on my board. And I am also looking for people who would like to be my advisors, though I have people who keep on advising, but nobody is there, officially. So they are not on the board, or they are not, I don't have their consent forms also. So will you just mentioned that we can write to you if we need some mentors. So is it possible to get those advisors in this call, or that's not possible?
Disha, you had also applied for the Startup India Fellowship Seed Fund Scheme, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, yours is underway. Yeah, you're pending for review. Diksha, see, the thing is, having scientific advisors is something that you can have unofficially or officially. They need not be your board members. Most of the scientific advisors that come in for the BIG grant are people who say that, okay, I will guide you through the entire matter via email or something like that. But we would like you to have an active conversation with them. Like they know that you are Diksha and this is your proposed solution. At least they can have that in their mind. It will be great. So having them as on your board, onboarded on some formal paper-based consents are all not required at this stage.
Okay.
Probably at a later stage, yes. So as a part of the scientific advisors, you can just mention their names, and if possible, you can also upload their resumes, if possible. If you can download it or something like that.
Because asking them to send their resumes is not.
It will be difficult. So I understand, and even the scientific advisors are also pressed for time. I mean, this is something that they do out of their own interest. So if you can just get verbally at least, if you can just say, "Okay, sir, I need your resume. Can I download it from the website?" If they say okay, well and good. I mean, I don't think they will have an issue with downloading from the website, especially when they need not download themselves and give it to you. So I think they'll be okay with that.
Because these scientific advisors might be the faculties of some government institutes.
That's okay.
That's okay, right?
Yes. As long as they fit into your proposed solution. I mean, if you have a genomics-based solution and you have somebody from material sciences, it will not help.
Definitely. Yeah, I got your point, of course. But
so that is the only concern that we have. Otherwise, we don't need their consent letters or something like that. Nothing official at this level. You can just have them. But then at the end of the day, I would prefer if the scientific advisor would know you as well, because that will help you in the later stage. I mean, 3 months down the line of the grant, etc. That might be helpful. But
I don't want them to be for the sake of
February, definitely. Not till 15th of February, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So that base. And I also wanted to, I also asked that if we can get some sort of discussion or mentoring regarding the form that we are going to fill, because it's a huge form. So I just wanted to focus on the proposal that we are offering. So if we can we get something for that?
So can you just send us a draft of your proposal? That will help us, because the thing is, completely out of the blue, giving mentorship would be a little difficult from our end as well.
We already have one form, so it's all based on the same lines. So
I understand. So if you can just have a draft of it, you can send it via email. Sure. I can schedule a session with you quite immediately next week.
Perfect. That will be perfect. Thank you so much, Nitya.
Thanks, Diksha.
Abhinav?
Yes, please. Abhinav, if you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I had applied for BIG 19th call. Now I'm reapplying for the 20th call with the reviewers' comments addressed. Ma'am, the main problem that I'm facing right now is that my solution is mainly concerning medtech, and the current market scenario in India is quite in the development phase after the PM Ayushman Bharat Yojana and all. So, ma'am, the current landscape of competition, I cannot clearly demarcate it. So, how should I go about that?
May I know which sector of the healthcare are you targeting? I mean, is it a kidney-related medtech device or?
Ma'am, as in like digital infrastructure for almost entire healthcare system. Like all the objectives of Ayushman Bharat Yojana would be tried to be addressed.
Okay. So, so basically, you can have some sort of database-based competitors, right? Database related. Some indirect competition will also help. Not direct. Direct probably you may not have, because the scale in which you are, ideating the proposed solution is quite huge. So probably the entire thing may not be a direct competition. But then when you have a large-scale proposed solution, there might be some competitors who work on one part of your proposal. So they can be your indirect competitions.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, is there any
if you don't have anybody in mind, that is fine. But then you can say that, there are some players who will take into consideration only part A, part B, or part C of your proposal.
So, ma'am, how can I search if there is any website you can recommend where I can search the current scenario of development?
Usually it is these Government of India corporate affairs websites or somebody on those regards only. I would always prefer you go with some government related websites rather than, blind web search engines.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay. So there is one question. Can an enterprise related under registered under MSME apply? You can. If the enterprise is a private limited or an LLP, you can definitely apply. There is no issues. Gunjan Prakash says, if I have a research facility available at my institute, do I still need to physically incubate at any TPI? Gunjan, if you are going to apply as an individual, then you will have to be incubated at a recognized TPI for sure. If your institute is not a recognized TPI, then you will have to figure out a recognized TBI where you can incubate, because that would be mandatory for the BIG grant. If you are not able to do it till the 15th of February, we can generate an LOI, as I said earlier. So there is one question from, sorry. Avaquare says, is there any upper age limit for the fellowship? No, there is no upper age limit for the fellowship. The only limitation we have as far as age is concerned is not even that. It's only the fact that you should be a graduate. So probably your lower age, there is a limit, but not for an upper age. There is no limit for an upper age. So then, can an enterprise register under?
There is an anonymous question.
Yes,
there is an anonymous question.
I am working in. Is it that antimicrobial resistance? Yeah. Okay. I am working in antimicrobial resistance and antibiotic stewardship research program with an aim to molecular diagnosis scope to apply for the BIG, presently attached as an assistant professor in a state university. You can avail, you can be applicable to the BIG scheme, but because you are a faculty, we would request you to generate an NOC from your institute. And if your university has a TBI, please get an LOI or an MOU from the TBI as well. So yes, you can actually apply for BIG, not an issue. Just because you are a faculty, under the stewardship research project, it is fine. But then whatever results you have generated from this project would be your preliminary data. You cannot apply for the BIG with the same objectives as your research project. So the research project will be your preliminary data, and on this preliminary data, you will have to generate some R&D under the BIG grant.
There is a question from Sophia Mehraj. I think we did not answer it. I am a faculty at an agricultural university. How much time is available for idea to POC slot to avail this grant?
How much time is available
for idea to POC to avail this grant? I think
so the time you can avail from the BIG grant is dependent on you. The BIG cannot be availed for more than 18 months time. So I think that would be answering your question. But then yes, we would request you to have a milestone ready for between 15 to 18 months of time.
Okay, I think we have pretty much covered all the questions in the Q&A box.
Yeah.
Chat.
I think this is done.
Prabhakaran G is asking, what is the maximum time to evaluate the proposal?
So Prabhakaran, the time from the last date of application, that is the close of the call, to getting awarded would be about 5 to 6 months. It's a long time for the BIG grant. We have very step-to-step curated methodology to actually understand each proposal and weigh each proposal based on its merit. So BIRAC is very, has a very extensive process to actually identify the awardees of a proposal, of a call. So every call, from the close of the date of applications to the awardee, it takes about 5 to 6 months. It's a long run.
Nitya, there was one query on OTT. They wanted to know if it was chargeable and does CCAMP evaluate patent applications filed provisionally?
Yeah, I actually answered that. Provisional patents are actually taken up for consideration and for discussion at the OTT platform. You can get in touch with us and we will put you right in touch with the team. That is number one. Second thing is you can avail all the facilities at OTT. There is no issues with that.
There was also one query asking if sanitary napkins would come under medical devices.
Sanitary napkins would come under, no, but it depends. Sanitary napkins would not come under devices, but under sustainability. So probably under agri-environment kind of a thing, waste management, that sector, not under devices. Devices would be something with a part, a mechanical part. So that would come under waste management. Yeah, this is done. It is mentioned, Avocare says it is mentioned on CCAM website below 35 years. Avocare, if you could just unmute yourself, and I quite didn't understand this question. If you could just come online.
Yeah, Avocare, I think go ahead.
Ma'am, just now I have seen on the CCAMP website that the eligibility criteria for SIIP fellowship is below 35 years of age.
So that is for the SIIP fellowship. Okay. So that is for graduates and students only. Students, graduates, postgraduates, or PhD students, not for startups.
Okay. And if somebody from the startup want to avail the fellowship as an individual, then can we go ahead?
Yeah, you will have to quit from your position though.
Okay. But the age limit will be 35 years, below 35 years.
For all SIIP schemes, it is below 35 years.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess most of the questions are actually answered here. Yeah, chat box. Gunjan says she wants to ask one more question. Yeah. Kindly unmute yourself, Gunjan, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll put her on.
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Please. Yeah. So, Dr. Nitya, the thing is that the project which I am planning to put under BIG grant, I'm already working with some industry on it. So I have some preliminary data, and both myself and industry are planning to apply for this grant. So it can be applied in any of the ways, as you have mentioned, either an industry can apply, or as a faculty, I am also eligible to apply. And if faculty applies, then I can be, you have answered that I can be a scientific advisor kind of thing. And if we decide to apply as me as individual in a faculty capacity, so I can have those industry representative as team members. Am I correct?
representatives, as in your team member cannot be a company.
Okay.
Industry collaboration, in what extent are you doing? Are you going to go ahead for what sort of a dependence do you have on that with that industry collaboration? May I know?
So yeah, it's basically about a industrial biotechnology project, and we are developing a product, a pigment. So they are making it right now with one approach, and now we are working on an alternate approach. So they want to extend into that, adopting that alternate approach.
What will you be doing in this?
So I am doing R&D on their behalf. So the
industry collaboration would be what? I don't understand. See, industry collaboration can be utilized for two main reasons. One is scale up. Another is for commercialization or marketing.
Yes.
So, you being a faculty member, if you are going to apply, then they would be your strategic partners.
Okay.
The industry or that particular person in that industry would be a strategic partner for scale up operations.
So is there a provision in the application grant to mention it like that as a strategic partner?
You can actually have that in your commercialization part. You can actually mention that you have identified strategic partners to be a company that can help you with scale up, etc., provided the R&D works.
Okay. And yeah, thank you. That clarifies. And the second thing is, like, if we apply, if suppose industry applies, the R&D part we are doing. So does industry also need a TBI?
Is the startup less than 5 years old?
Yes,
the industry partner?
Yes, it is less than 5 years.
Industry will not require a TBI.
Okay.
The company will not require a TBI. It is not mandatory for the company to have a TBI.
Okay. So,
but then once awarded, we will be doing a due diligence, and if we feel that their laboratory setup is quite insufficient in any way to actually undertake the experimentation, then we will not be able to go ahead with the PIJ award.
Correct.
So you will have to just check on that if the company has a good, strong R&D space to actually undertake the experimentation.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for this clarification.
You're welcome.
Riaz has a question on the Q&A box.
One second. Going through that. I have developed a low-cost, real-time smart irrigation system using Internet of Things for high-density full variety. Am I eligible for the BIG grant? Riaz, if the particular technology that you are mentioning requires an R&D validation to make it into a proof of concept or to make it into a beta prototype model, you can apply for the BIG grant. Yeah. So I think we've covered most of it, right?
Looks like it. Anybody else has any questions, please?
So yeah, kindly put up your hand so that you can ask it live.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a query here, Dr. Vyas.
Yes.
If I'll fill up the application and after your surveying, if you found that my idea will not be fit into a certain category, is it possible for you to tell me to change the category?
You mean the thematic area?
Yes, ma'am.
Like drugs, devices, the whole thematic area?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can judge. You will be the best judge of it, whether it fits into agriculture, it fits into industrial biotechnology, drugs, devices, diagnostics, etc. But then if we feel or BIRAC feels that you do not that particular panel members are not the right people to actually judge this project. So usually there is a confusion between agriculture and IBT all the time. So if we feel that the IBT panel will not be best fit for assessing your agricultural proposed solution, then we will shift from IBT to Agri on a later date, not now.
Okay.
But
Because
once, if we feel that, I mean, we always give people the best, the right panel to actually understand and weigh out the merits of your proposal.
Right.
So if we feel that, I mean, you have by mistake identified the wrong panel, then we would do it on a later date. But then bear in mind that because we have a huge inclusion of proposals that come in, we may not be able to do this shift for the online review round.
Okay, because
Right.
I'm healthcare, but at the same time, my product may shift into food and nutrition or any other category. So that's the issue. That's the
So
query.
you be the best this thing judge of that, like who will be actually going ahead with it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Prem Pandey has his hand up.
Prem, can you please unmute? Yeah.
Yeah, very good afternoon, and thank you for the session. It was really quite an informative session.
Thank you.
I would like to ask if I have a prototype in the diagnostic field, but the disease is not specified. It can be customized as per the need. So where I have certain filters which can be, tuned, and there are certain light sources. So in which like sector or in which field it will fall into? So it will
So
still
that's
go into healthcare and
Right. Very interesting, let me tell you. The thing is, most of the diagnostic panels actually run on the lines of being a platform technology.
True.
So a platform technology is something that can be adapted. You change the antibody or you change the antigen in the particular diagnostic approach. You will target a different disease or a different subtype of a particular disease. Right.
Absolutely.
So you can actually write the proposals on the lines of the fact that you can scale up this particular idea to be a platform technology on a later date. That is number one.
Okay.
Second thing is that I would like you to choose the one of the right applications to this particular diagnostic approach. So if in case you are targeting, you can say, I can target cancer, TB, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, anything. But if you are going to target under cancer itself, there's so many subtypes.
Absolutely.
So I would like you to curate your first 18 months to validate the working of this diagnostic approach for one particular target in mind.
But
and then
target is okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
One particular target in mind.
Okay.
And then probably on a later date after the 18 months or during the 18 months itself, the last 6 months can be for the validation of this device to be a platform technology for 2 other disease conditions.
Will it fit into this 50 lakh scheme, do you think? Because the validation can go on and on, because
No, validation will be on a very small scale.
Okay.
Only with, maybe
studies.
antigen antibody. That's it. You can't go for clinical validation.
No, a clinical validation.
Probably you can include it, like, for example, from blood, urine, some samples or something.
Okay.
But you
So
can't go in. Yeah, you will have to find the right, there'll be, see, for example, one disease, for example, Alzheimer's, it is very difficult to crack.
Absolutely.
And if you go with a diagnostic kit, no matter how wonderful your approach is for Alzheimer's, it's very difficult for the panel to actually get their minds around that.
Absolutely.
Because Alzheimer's is very difficult to crack.
True.
But if you can say that with this platform technology, I can actually target one of the type of prostate cancers. For example, now cancer and Alzheimer's don't match.
Absolutely.
But probably yours can be extended to both. But if you're going to pitch Alzheimer's, it will not sit right. But if you pitch prostate cancer, it might sit right. So you will have to weigh your decision as to which is the right target for now, at least for 18 months. And then you can scale up. Scale up, we have a lot of funding opportunities also to make this into a platform technology.
But the review committee will ask about the preliminary data about do you have any validity, any kind of validation where the disease you're targeting, or you're saying that this disease can be targeted. So suppose I do not, my device is not based upon antigen antibody reaction. It is something, something else. So where it is not antigen antibody. So, but still I'm saying that it can target some particular disease. So they will ask, the review committee have all the rights to decline.
Yes. Yes, they do. That is very viable. Your doubt is very viable, and it will definitely happen as well. But then the thing is, what I would like you to do is, at least if you don't have any preliminary data, base your conclusions on valid literature. Okay. If you have any strong literature backing as well, it will be all right.
I have a prototype ready, but yes, what you suggest is the literature.
The prototype also can be preliminary data. Probably you need to iterate it some more. Probably, okay. I don't know the stage in which you are.
It has to be iterated a bit
more. So the first 2 iterations can be your preliminary data.
Okay.
That can also be based for your BIG grant.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Surojit Das.
Yes, good afternoon. This is a very good session for understanding and encouraging the researcher for application in the BIG program. So I am thinking for a long time to apply for this program, but unfortunately, I have some queries in my mind. In just a few minutes ago, I have put a chat on some questions, and you have answered that question. But additionally, I have some other questions in my mind. So can I ask that question?
Please go ahead, please.
Okay, so currently I am continuing research on the antimicrobial resistance. Okay, so I am working on the molecular surveillance of antimicrobial resistance, and presently I have running several national funding projects like ICMR, UGC, and most are the multicentric project. So is there any scope for apply in the BIG so that I can run the molecular surveillance in a multicentric way? Definitely there will be a motto to develop some diagnostic method for rapid identification for the antimicrobial stewardship. And like the other project, there are some inclusion of the principal investigators or the co-investigators, then 2, 3, or 4 in the multicentric project. So is there any scope to apply like that manner to BIG?
So by multicentric, what do you mean? Different populations, different data samples, different...
Multicentric means there will be more than 3 to 4 investigators of the project from different institutions.
No, I am very sorry. They can actually be scientific advisors, but you cannot have a co-PI kind of a module in BIG. In BIG, it is just one project coordinator, and that project coordinator can have scientific advisors, business mentors, strategic partners, and team members. These are the only inclusions you can have under BIG.
So okay, so other institutions,
so they can be scientific mentors if it's doable, because they cannot be team members. They are also faculty members, as you said. So if they are team members and if you are awarded, then they'll have to quit their jobs. So that will be difficult. So I would suggest if you want to head the project, then you can be the project coordinator. The other faculty members can be scientific advisors, and probably you can recruit some people to actually undertake the project as part of being team members.
So can I recruit like JRF, SRF or project
So
assistant?
you can recruit anybody, like in any capacity, project assistant, research assistants, anybody. And also their pay scale need not be according to DBT GST guidelines because it's an entrepreneurship grant.
And is there any timeline, like 3 years timeline, like other research funding agencies, minimum 3 years project?
18 months project, maximum of 18 months.
Maximum of 18 months.
Yes.
And can I run the project in my research facilities without taking the LOI? Or
if you are going to apply in the as an individual and not a startup, then you will have to incubate in a government recognized technology business incubator. So if your university is recognized to be a technology business incubator, you can undertake experiments from there.
So I am
Otherwise, you will have to have an MOU or an LOI from a technology business incubator at the time of application.
Okay, so I'm from a state university. So am I eligible for that?
If you do not have a technology business incubator in mind, we from CCAM, we can actually issue an LOI in less than 24 hours. That does not come with any bearing that you will have to physically incubate at CCAMP once you are awarded or something like that. So for now, at least for meeting the deadline of the application, we can send out an LOI for you. And then in the meantime, you can decide which is the TBI you want to incubate at.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, madam, for the clarification. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nitya, I think, shall we move to close the session? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think we don't have any more questions as well, so I think we can close. Yes.
Yeah. I think just before everybody goes, I'm sure that Nitya and Deepa will follow up with you. But just because a few people asked, we are streaming this session live on YouTube, and that stream will be there. We are not taking it down. So in case you want to listen to parts of Nitya's talk, you can always do that. I am typing out the link to the YouTube video over there in chat. Please take a look at it. And then we are going to close in about 30 seconds.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the elaborate explanation. Thank you.